Hey everybody, it's Wreck Rider, and welcome back to Let's Play Trauma Team. Last time, the Raging Bomber had made a fourth strike, and we have, unfortunately, a new corpse to investigate. I wonder if this will invalidate some of those evidence cards we got earlier.
The fourth one. How many more will there be by the time this is all over? I can't hear anything. So he died before he was able to say anything about his death.
Wow. No voice whatsoever. Okay, so it's a very similar situation. Another point-blank explosion. This guy's a professional. Very similar patterns.
The corpse has obvious lacerations and burns caused by the explosion. These wounds look very similar to the ones found on Aiden's corpse. This requires further investigation.
No shrapnel this time, not that I can see. More carbon dust?
There's something on the fingertip. I've seen this somewhere before. Now, where was that? Yes, I noticed this on the third victim, Aiden Posner, as well. There's something a little different about this, though. It's
on his opposite hand, right?
Yes, Aiden had it on a different part of his hand. The substance on Aiden's hand was...
Right.
That's right. It was on the little finger of his right hand. I should have these compared to see if they're the same substance.
And if they are the same substance, then does that mean that this fourth victim is left-handed? I would think so.
Oh, Dr. Kimishima, we've found some information about the victim.
I'm listening.
Let's see. The victim is Stephen Eldred. He's 20 years old and is a student at a local
That's
college.
horrible.
And a Caucasian male, as in the bomber's warning.
Yes, but we still don't know if this is the revolutionaries doing or not.
Well, finding out shouldn't make us any happier. It's another life lost.
Right. This might sound a little morbid, but we got lucky with this explosion.
What?
It didn't cause any fires or structural damage, so the crime scene is more or less intact. This gives us a better opportunity to find out who did it, no matter who it was.
Huh, that's true. The more information we can get, the better. Investigating the crime scene and the corpse may help us progress in the investigation.
Right. I've sent all the information we have right now to your computer. I'll have HQ get us a recording of the original bomb threat, too.
Please do. I'm going to continue investigating.
Okay. I guess we're headed to the victim's room.
This room belonged to the fourth victim, Stephen Eldred. The explosion was concentrated on the right side of the room. The left side is almost untouched. Huh? What's that sound? Oh, so that's what it was. Hello?
Excuse me, but isn't this Mr. Eldred's residence?
That's correct. And you are?
Michael Lang. I'm from Loan and Taxes. If you are aware of our business model, then you must know why I'm calling.
Huh. You're a loan shark. Does that mean Stephen Eldred has a debt?
I will not divulge any of my customers' personal information. Please let Mr. Eldred know that we're trying to contact him. Well then.
Michael Lang from Loan and Taxes. Was that really a call from a loan shark?
Why do I somehow doubt that?
Wow, this is filthy. It appears to be a broken guitar. It seems to stand out compared to the rest of this room.
Oh, wrong thing. What do we have back here? This room's pretty big.
What could this piece of metal be from? It's embedded rather deep. It was most likely launched by the force of the explosion.
Looks like a bomb component. On the wall.
Could this be the computer that the victim used? This may still have some information we can use. Let's power it up and see what there is. Odd. The screen isn't turning on. It's not accepting any input either. Could it be broken?
Huh. Okay, good. Nothing hidden. Lots of cards to go through, it looks like.
Hey, little guy. I need some help from you.
What are you up to now?
I'm insulted. There's somebody I need you to look into.
Is that all? It shouldn't be any problem.
Good. His name is Michael Lang. He's a loan shark.
Planning on buying a house soon?
Stop playing around. He called the victim's phone.
I see. Was it a collection call? Did the victim owe him money?
He hung up before I could find out. That's why I'm asking for your assistance.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I'll look into him.
Make sure to check whether or not he's employed at a place called Loan and Taxes. For all we know, the man who called was the bomber himself.
I'll keep that possibility in mind.
Alright. Lots and lots of cards. But we do have some things that we can use. Like, I'm pretty sure... Oh, really?
Hey, little guy, can you tell me anything about this?
Yes, of course. It's a piece of metal.
I collected it from the wall of the room the explosion happened in, so I thought...
Yep, it's a piece of steel pipe. It could have come from anywhere. The chromatographic scan shows traces of black powder. The powder was used as the explosive propellant.
Now we know for sure what that piece of metal is. It's...
part of the bomber.
Yes, it's likely the same situation that occurred with Aiden's death. The analyses show that the powder and the metal are exactly the same as those found in Aiden's bombing.
I see. I get the feeling that this will work with something else that we know. These pieces of metal were found at both Aiden's and Stephen's deaths. Material analysis showed that both pieces were chemically identical. That means...
Alchemy experiments. I love Atlas's gag answers.
Yes, it's quite likely that both pieces were cut from common steel pipes. There's something else we discovered about the metal fragments. That is... Indeed. Black powder was used as the propellant for both explosions. The same components, the same metal casing. The bombs in these cases are the same type of explosive.
Oh, Dr. Kimishima, do you need something analyzed? What's this?
This was found on the fourth victim's corpse. Can you see if this is the same substance that was found on Aiden's hand?
Sure, it'll just take a moment. This is carbon dust, too. There's no mistaking it.
I thought as much. But why would they both have carbon dust on them? Huh. Yes, these two can be put together. They both have carbon dust on their fingertips. But there's something quite different between the two of them. That is...
They're on different hands.
Yes. The substance was on Aiden's right hand, but on Stephen's left. So many similarities and one difference. This bothers me a little.
I would just suspect that the second victim was left-handed.
Hey, little guy. Can you look at something for me?
The computer won't boot up? It was in an explosion. It's probably broken.
That doesn't really matter as long as we can get the data from the hard drive.
True. Huh. Wait a second.
Did you find something?
Yes. The computer's fine. It's not starting up because it's locked.
Is there any way to unlock it?
Well, we could try to force our way in, though there's a chance it'll wipe itself and we'll lose the data. It seems the victim was using voice authentication software.
Voice authentication. So it'll only start up using the owner's
That's
voice.
annoying.
Yes, but it belonged to Stephen Eldred.
So it'll never start up again.
Gold evidence card already. Wow. So I guess that computer's kind of a dud.
Little guy, are you a music aficionado at all?
Huh? Why? Well, I know bits and pieces.
Maybe you might not know either. I need you to analyze this guitar.
Oh, this thing's pretty nasty. Holy...
What's with you?
Dr. Kimishima, where did you find this? Wait, more importantly, how did this happen to her?
Her? It was in the victim's room. Stephen's, that is.
Then, the neck was broken in the explosion?
Probably, yes. So what?
Son of a bitch. The raging bomber's gonna pay...
Hey, calm down. What's wrong?
I can't calm down. This guitar, it belonged to musical legend Ben Frank.
Well...
Look, it's the 1955 Dagmite model. Ugh, I can't believe it.
I don't understand. Is that instrument valuable?
It's beyond valuable. Finding this is a miracle. Normally, I'd have it sent to the museum immediately for safekeeping, but... Oh, damn it! What? Doesn't this get to you, Doctor?
No, not really. I mean, it's a broken guitar.
Oh, you don't understand. Listen to me. If this was ever on the market, it would go for $70,000 to $80,000. I wouldn't be surprised if bids went over $100 grand.
That's impressive.
Now it's personal. Dr. Kimishima, we have to put this bastard, this killer behind bars.
Yes. Well, I
Maybe
agree.
she doesn't have the same motive you do, but...
In any event, a guitar worth more than $100,000. That's not the kind of thing an ordinary student would be able to afford. Perhaps I should have him look at it once he's calmed down a bit. Little guy, can I borrow you for a moment?
Yes, of course. Do you need me to look at something?
Can you take a close look at this guitar?
Of course. I am a professional after all. I can be
That was
impartial.
fast.
Please do, then. What can you tell me about it?
There's not much I can say other than...
Found something?
Yes. Looks like this guitar was played by someone other than Ben Frank.
So what does that mean? Is the guitar a fake?
No, of course not. The scratches, the wear, everything says it's the real deal. But Ben Frank is right-handed, and this guitar has been set to be played by someone who's left-handed.
The guitar's set for a left-handed player? The difference between right and left-handed guitars is...
The string orders, right?
Yes, the string order is reversed, depending on the dominant hand.
I'm surprised you knew that, Dr. Kimishima. When the thinner strings are on the right, it's for right-handed players. It's the opposite for left-handers.
The fourth victim owned this guitar. I doubt that he would lend his $100,000 guitar to anyone else. That makes it likely that Stephen Eldred was...
Left-handed? Do people even have dominant feet?
Left-handed, right. That information could prove useful.
You know, come to think of it, I did take martial arts when I was younger, and people would have dominant feet. I guess not.
I need these wounds analyzed, little guy.
Okay, let's see. Radially expanding wounds. It's very similar to Aiden's injuries, though the explosion itself seems a little smaller.
If the wounds are the same shape, the reason why should be obvious. These wounds can tell us that...
Thought so.
Yes, this victim was killed by a close-range explosion as well. At first glance, it looks like the same method was used. I should compare the two to learn more. Yes, these two can be put
They're
together.
getting somewhere.
Aiden Posner and Stephen Eldred. The conditions of both explosions were the same, and both explosions were about the same strength.
So this means that both of the bombs were manufactured in the
There's a
same
good
way?
chance that these two deaths were caused by the same person after all.
Still more? Wow.
There is something we can deduce using this information. The Raging Bomber is believed to have been responsible for 4 bombings. Of the 2 cases that I've been investigating, the third and fourth victims, both bombs were made of a metal pipe and used black powder. Also, the wounds on the victims have another similarity. That is, yes, the wounds on the bodies help us determine the strength of the explosions. It turns out that both corpses had almost the exact same wounds. Materials, propellants, power. They all point to the idea that the 2 bombs were virtually identical. Another similarity in the 2 cases is the victim's distance from the bomb. Both Aiden and Stephen had been...
Very close, yeah.
Yes, both of them were very close to the bombs when they went off. Same bomb, same delivery method. This all draws us to a logical conclusion that...
Were made by the same person. Solid evidence!
Indeed. It seems safe to think that these 2 murders were the work of the same person.
Still more? Huh. What am I missing?
Hey, little guy, there's something I want to ask you.
Yes? What is it?
Did you know the victim at all before the bombing?
Huh? No, I've never seen him before.
I thought so. That makes this a little odd.
Odd how?
The revolutionary did give advance notice about his next target. Still, the victim this time is obviously different from his previous ones.
What's different about him?
It's...
Right, he's just a college kid.
That's it. A politician, a celebrity, and an athlete. All the other victims up until now were in the public eye. This bombing killed an ordinary college student with no notoriety at all.
That's true now that you mention it.
Perhaps this was a copycat crime after all. Or perhaps, has the raging bomber changed his modus operandi?
We might be wrong to assume that. Maybe the reasoning behind his previous victims wasn't that they were famous.
In any case, we have to continue investigating. Keep finding out whatever you can. Let me know if you learn anything.
Understood. I'll do that.
Still not everything. Wow. Actually, is there something new on the recorder? I hate doing this.
The third victim,
Oh.
Aiden Posner. The callus on his palm is proof of his dominant arm. That would mean he was...
Why does this matter?
Correct. He was right-handed. The fourth victim, Stephen Eldred. His guitar tells us which is his dominant hand. That would be his...
So why does this matter?
Yes. The guitar had been strung for a left-handed player. The famous musician the guitar belonged to was right-handed. If anyone were to change the strings, it would be the current owner. Thus, we can reason that Stephen Eldred was himself left-handed. I wonder if this difference will be any help in this investigation. I think these may help us get closer to solving the
Oh,
mystery.
right. The dusts were on their dominant
Both the third
hands.
and fourth victims had carbon dust on their fingers. But the locations of the dust are the major difference between them. On the other hand, we've learned about a difference between Aiden and Stephen.
So is carbon
The two
dust spread
victims
by the
had
bomb
different
somehow?
dominant hands. From these two facts, we can tell that the carbon dust was...
Wow, another gold evidence card. Maybe this case won't be as bad as I thought.
Indeed, it was on each victim's dominant hand. I think we've gotten a little closer to figuring out the meaning behind the carbon dust.
Dr. Kimishima, we've found out more about that man.
What man? Who are you talking about?
Oh, Michael Lang. He really does work for Loan and Taxes.
So that is a real company. Is that his real name?
Yes, though what he does is barely considered legal.
Huh. If that's the case, is there the slightest chance that he's the bomber?
I don't know about that. I'll send you the recording of his interrogation anyway. Please listen to it when you have time.
Got it. Even if he isn't the culprit, he can at least tell us more about the victim. There's no reason to not listen to what he had to say.
Well, we're going to listen to Michael Lang's account next time on Let's Play Trauma Team, because this episode is running very long.